interrupted because I want my throat to be dry.
Okay. Sorry, we're 3 minutes late. 9:03. I've been going nonstop. I'm a little tired, so and thank God because Bianca Goolsby is gonna take over this broadcast. She's gonna use screen share and she's gonna walk us through um the Gaither High, Cindy Stewart, Chuck Henderson allegations of racist posts. La 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 la. There's one viewer. For those of you who are watching, please share. This is Bianca's domain. She does teaching for the culture. She is in a short time built up an incredible following, very impressive to what she's done, and she is an advocate for children, for education. So that's the place to go. Teaching for the culture, Bianca Goolsby's page to find out every little thing of what's going on. She does not miss a beat, and she brings the tea every morning on her. It's at 9:30. If you can't catch it at that time because you're working or whatever, it's then left on as a pre-record, and it's juicy. I follow it. I go on there regularly to find out what's going on educationally. I don't have any kids in Hillsborough, but you
Her service
know
is
what?
frozen.
I do have a child that I am very much. Okay, am I back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to contact. I thought I had resolved the issue. I've been having this. It's a little bit aggravating for me because I bought some equipment and I thought that this was gonna stop. But in any event, you're gonna take it away. If I happen to freeze or drop off, Bianca, you keep rolling.
All
Okay.
right. All right. I'm down.
So we have 6 people that are following. Please share, share, share. It's 9:05. We were scheduled to come on at 9. Again, tonight's topic is a couple of months ago. While I was following that morning's broadcast from Bianca, I was like startled at some of the things that I was reading. And so I'm gonna let Bianca take it from here and explain to us what was that about, and screen share and show us those receipts that you keep so well.
Well, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the work that you do with Florida You Judge. And I definitely appreciate it. And thank you, Tampa boss Michelle Williams, for everything that you do and advocating for the community. You're greatly appreciated and valued. So basically, with my saga with Hillsborough County Public Schools, I had a series called Morning Tea and Allegations. I had my season finale on Wednesday, and we'll regroup after my wife wins this election and goes to Tallahassee. And I'll pick up where I left off, but I need to support her in this time as we're hitting the home stretch. But during that saga, there was something that was posted on Twitter. It was a tweet that was referring to a teacher by the name of Chuck Henderson. It was a group and it was called We Will Be Ruthless. This is an organization that targets white supremacists, and they look at certain groups that are identified with the Southern Poverty Center. This group is something where they have to be very intentional when they expose people due to the fact that there is a legal liability, obviously, for the organization for claiming or suggesting anything of that person. They have been following Chuck Henderson ever since he identified that he was teaching. He had identified in a post that he's a teacher and he was been teaching for 18 years. As soon as he said that in this group, which is a private, secret Facebook group that you have to answer questions and be vetted to get access into, because again, it's a white supremacist group. So obviously, you don't want that group to be accessible to anyone everywhere, because obviously you're posting and saying things that is not appropriate and cause controversy. So after the tweet went out, I saw it. I was notified of it by several people in the community, and I posted it on my Facebook page. And I said, "Hey, like, what is this about?" So immediately after I posted it, it probably was maybe about 5 to 15 minutes. School board member Cindy Stewart had hopped on my page and said that it was fake and it's being investigated. That was the comment that she left on my page. And then school board member Tamara Schamberger had liked her comment. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not the type of person to put misinformation out there. Like if it's fake and it's being investigated, like I know, like, you know, people's Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts, they get hacked. Like that's a real thing.
Right.
So I didn't think anything of it. So I was like, well, you know, they said it's fake and it's being investigated. So I'm going to remove it off my page because, you know, obviously there's a problem. So I removed it off my page and I didn't think anything of it until Chuck Henderson actually popped up in my inbox and I was stunned. So I want to show you guys the website where I document this entire saga on how we caught Chuck Henderson. So let me go ahead and share my website with you guys. Okay. Make sure.
I'm just putting on my Snoopy glasses.
And then Haiti, you got to add it to the screen where you're at so it'll pop up. All right, perfect. So you can go to this website. It is teachingfortheculture.com, and I documented this entire saga and what happened. So this was the post. This was the tweet that I was referring to. And again, this was posted on Twitter. It was circulating. They had tagged Hillsborough County Schools, and it pretty much kind of circulated heavily. I wouldn't say viral, but a lot of people started to kind of pick up on it. So this was sent to me and I was like, okay, you know, you're saying that, you know, Africans, you know, we don't have anything, just mud and sticks. And it was just some really nasty things that he was saying, you know, in the post. So I received a message from Chuck Henderson and he said, you know, he was interested in setting the record straight. You know, he was, you know, he seemed very genuine. I had a conversation with Chuck Henderson and I said, look, you know, if it's not you and you were hacked, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. Because again, you know, someone being in the tech industry, I know that people get hacked all the time. Like this is not something that's odd. So, you know, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then, of course, I'm relying on, you know, our school board members to provide accurate information on what's happening. So I relied on the people that, you know, co-signed and said that it was fake and it was being investigated. So I then post, you know, screenshots of where, you know, he changed his profile picture. And when he changed his profile picture, what, you know, Chuck didn't know was that the group was still following him. So anything that he was doing, you know, he was linked to the private secret Facebook group. So when he changed his profile picture also changed in the group that he was in. So when I had posted my exchange with Chuck Henderson, that is when they were able to, let me see here. Okay. So right here, I find the conversation that I had with Chuck Henderson on Twitter by the group. Like they found my page and they found Chuck Henderson. Like they were trying to find him to stitch on him to get him in trouble. So if you go to the Twitter page, We Will Be Ruthless, you will see all of this lined up. Not only does this organization, you know, target and, you know, whistle out Chuck Henderson, but they also had several people that they've called out that's being in this private secret Facebook group that again that you have to apply for. So Chuck Henderson basically had this long conversation with me and say that he was hacked. And here's the screenshot right here. And this is all on my Facebook page. And, you know, he seemed genuine. You know, he said he was hacked. And, you know, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I really was, because again, I understand due process. But then, you know, after I post these receipts, and this again, it shows from my Facebook page, this was 2 months ago. That's how the people were able to find me. And it's all on Facebook. So I emailed, let me see here if it'll show on one screen. Yeah, there we go. So I emailed We Will Be Ruthless because, you know, I wanted to know about their organization. I wanted to know about their intent because Chuck Henderson had said he was hacked, he was being targeted and all of these things. So I wanted to find out from the organization, what was their intent? Why did they go after Chuck Henderson? Why did they, you know, talk about him? Why was his picture and everything posted on the internet? So if you read the screenshots here, I asked if they could shed light on the situation. Chuck is alleging that it's fake. And, you know, I wanted to know more information. So scroll down to their response. Okay. And I'll read what they said. So We Will Be Ruthless, the organization, said to access the RWDS page, which stands for White Wing Death Squad. You have to either be invited by a friend on Facebook or maybe have heard about it somewhere and then found it, and then you have to apply to join. I don't remember the exact questions I was asked when I joined the group, but generally you are asked to spell out your politics. It is called Right Wing Death Squad. So I don't think anyone can mistakenly join the group. The group was started in 2017 and it has over 1K members. It was originally called, and I can never say that name right, so I'm not even going to say it, which is an appropriated term that white supremacists use amongst one another to denote their lack of Jewness. The group was actually started by a Filipino American, and as best as I can tell, it started to promote alt-right meme culture with a focus on anti-Jewish propaganda. It has since evolved into a heaven of all sorts of bigotry. The founder of the page had his identity exposed and he has left social media. We are working to expose the current admins of the page. All the threads on the RWDS page that Henderson participated in still exist, although the deletion of his account wiped his comments from those threads. I suppose one could go back through the screenshots I provided to show those threads are indeed from RWDS. He says that he was hacked. Fine. The best way for him to have proved that he would have been not to delete his account. We will do a thread later on my feed to debunk his actual very cynical lie that shifts the blame for his actions into one of his students. Because part of the story was when he had that conversation with me, he was telling me that, a student that didn't like him hacked him. And look, I get it because, I see students do memes on kids all the time and they post stuff on Instagram and YouTube and all that. So, I really was hearing him out and, he made it seem like he was targeted. So, I get it. I was being very genuine with that. So he says he was hacked. Fine. The best way for him to prove it would be to not delete his account. I will do a thread later to debunk this actual very cynical lie that shifts the blame on the actions of one of his students. So typically, we expose people who are members of the Southern Poverty Law Center designated hate groups. There are lots of reasons why we do this, and I can explain why if you need to. There are exceptions, though. Even the RWDS isn't a hate group in the textbook formalized sense of the word. It does function as one. When members of the group began actively promoting the Colfax website, which targets interracial couples for harassment, we stepped up our campaign to expose members of the group. And then they actually post a receipt from Vice.com. Henderson is the fourth member of the RWDS to be exposed and more coming. We believe it's important to expose people like Henderson. We know that we are likely one to able capture a portion of their online footprints. Our exposure of Henderson should not be an endpoint of an investigation, but the starting point. People are already coming forward with questionable screenshots of content from Henderson's Facebook page. Will he claim his comment about David Hogg is a result of being hacked? Maybe, but it's increasingly laughable claim. Another important reason as to why these exposures of individual races are important is by doing so helps to expose the structural elements of white supremacy that provides for people like Henderson a material and ideological support. We see it in this way that the PTA initially responded, the school board member who decided this was all fake before any investigation was carried out, the person on my feed who claimed there was already an investigation that exonerated Henderson and had to backpedal, etc. I sense a whitewash anyway. Keep digging, keep asking questions.
So are we? Is it safe for me to assume, Bianca, that we talking about Cindy Stewart, the one who was saying that it was fake news?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just because I'm mentally taking notes.
Yes. So, I even had on my page,
why would she do that? Why would she do that, Bianca?
I don't know what her intent is, but I had a conversation with Cindy Stewart, and Cindy Stewart had told me that she had a conversation with Chuck Henderson and she had a conversation with the principal. Now, after the conversation with her, I was sitting trying to find out, well, why would a school board member have a conversation with the principal and the employee if this is an active OPS investigation? Because from my understanding, what she posted on my page, it was being investigated. So if it was being investigated, why are you telling me that you had a conversation with him and the principal? That to me, I felt that was a conflict of interest. Why are you having a conversation with these people and it's being investigated?
Isn't that a conflict of interest under the sunshine? That the school board member will be talking to a principal and a teacher under that type of
I don't know. I can't speak to that. What I do know is that I think it's improper. If there's any laws or rules with that, I don't know. That's something to definitely be researched. But what I do know is that she had conversations with him and had conversations with the principal, said it was fake, but this was supposed to be under investigation. And
Who's the
so
So she's saying it's fake even before an investigation is conducted and concluded.
she said it was being investigated from her own words, and then from her own words she said that she talked to Chuck. So as far as the process of that, I'm unsure, because
No, but what I'm saying is that she. What
Bianca?
I'm
Who's
saying
the
is she said it was fake before.
I don't know the principal's name.
Do you know the school?
Yeah, Gaither High School.
Okay, Gaither. Okay.
What, Bianca, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you? So she said it was fake before an investigation was concluded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giving the appearance she's running interference with someone that possibly at that point is associated with a group that's a white supremacist.
Yeah. She had already said it was fake. Like when I posted it, she said it was fake. It had to be like 5 to 15 minutes. And there's people that have alerts when I post on my page, so they saw it and they was like, "Wait, what?" And they took screenshots and everything else. And Tamara Schamberger liked the post, so I was like, "Well, if the both of them saying it's fake, I get." So I took it down. But then the reason how the investigation concluded was when Chuck reached out in my inbox. See, what the group We Will Be Ruthless didn't understand was he didn't delete his account. What he did is that he deactivated his Facebook page. So when you deactivate your Facebook page, your content and your groups and everything, they stay the same. Nothing is changed except for it's not clickable.
Right.
So when he changed his profile picture, it changed in the group because he didn't delete the content in the group. So that's how they was able to screenshot it. Now, when I had a conversation with Chuck Henderson, when we was having a conversation, he told me that when he changed the profile picture to the Publix flip-flops is when he had access to his page. So what got him caught up was, well, why do these screenshots with the public slides is still in that same group? Right. It doesn't make sense. Like, Michelle, you know Facebook, you know how this brought. Like, if you deactivate your page, everything stays the same. It doesn't delete. That's when you reactivate your page, everything come up. Well, when you change your profile picture, your stuff was still in that group, which was a private, secret Facebook group. You had to request to get access to that page. So you can't claim that it was hacked. There's no way possible you could say it was hacked because you had to apply to get into that page. But the fact of the matter is, these people said it was fake.
So we have a reaction.
Yep.
Kimberly says it sounds like
Kimberly type.
She was trying to cover up something.
I respond back and I shared with the group what he responded in my inbox, and he said that that doesn't even make any sense. They literally sat here and said this doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna just tell you that there's still some questions about this whole situation with Chuck Henderson. So while we here, I want to know, was his information when they did this OPS investigation, was it submitted to the Florida Department of Education? Because what typically happens in the district is when you have a teacher that does something wrong, they don't submit the stuff to the Florida Department of Education. So therefore, they can go take their certificate and work in another district. And none of this would be exposed. When this stuff was posted on the internet, you had children that were saying, yeah, he treated me a certain way. This was all on Twitter. It was all on something. The kids were talking about it. And they were saying, oh, he gave me a hard time. There was even a principal or assistant principal that said, yeah, he targeted my child and he didn't even know my child went to the school. Like it's all on the internet. So I posted all of this stuff on the internet, and We Will Be Ruthless said that nobody reached out to them. Nobody. The school district didn't reach out to them to figure out why they posted the information. The school board member, nobody had reached out to this organization to find out the truth but me. And the organization has a duty and responsibility to be factual and accurate when they post people online. Like, that's their duty. They're supposed to do that.
And We Will Be Ruthless is associated, you say, with the Southern Poverty Law Group.
So they and when associate, not like they work under them, but they do work to help the organization.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is good stuff. This is, Bianca, I'm telling you, your level of investigation and putting together receipts live, people don't. I'm like, this is phenomenal. Like, your work, like, I've been following you for a minute now, off and on, and every time
It was out of
something
control. It's out of control. It was out of control.
This is crazy. This is just absolutely crazy. And especially to see a sitting school board member come to his defense and say that, you know what I'm saying, this is fake news, and you know what I'm saying, before it's even investigated. Now that's the biggest thing that I have. Has anyone reached out to the DOE, you know what I'm saying, to make a formal complaint about this? Has this gone up to the lever to Richard Cochran? What is Richard Cochran gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna get involved with this? What about the Educational Commission committee where when teachers, you know, get their certificate? Are they investigating this? I've not been to a few of them, Bianca, and they're not in Hillsborough County. We not rented charter buses, and we not drove all the way down to Fort Lauderdale to go to a hearing because they didn't want to have it in Hillsborough
Okay,
County.
so Mona Judge is saying. So are you saying, this is for Bianca? So are you saying our new superintendent was okay with having a racist teacher?
So no, I don't think anywhere in the conversation that was ever indicated. When the superintendent found out, actually, I sent this information to the superintendent, and the superintendent had told, you know, the teacher to hand over their login information and all that stuff to do the investigation. And at that time, that's when the teacher resigned, because they did not want to give that information. So no, I don't think anywhere in the conversation I indicated that Superintendent Addison Davis was okay with it. You know, he actually,
Right. No, I didn't hear you say that. Yep.
But yeah.
But Bianca, so Bianca, when the superintendent asked for his login information, that would have, and he would have given it over, they would have been able to confirm or to investigate whether he racist group.
Right.
Yes?
And so that's why I wanted them to continue to carry out the investigation. And that's the question, because I don't know that part. And some of that stuff I'm not able to find out because it's, you know, personnel information. So I would have to do a public records request on the OPS file to see what happened in that OPS file to get information about that. I don't know about that piece. That's
But
still.
do you know for sure? Do you know for sure that they asked for his computer login?
Yes.
Is that a fact? Is that truth?
That's fact.
Okay.
That's truth. Mm-hmm. That's fact. So, and he resigned, and you know,
so he ultimately resigned. He didn't.
He resigned, and then, you know, he had a interview and he talked with Marlene Sokol, which is an educational reporter for the Tampa Bay Times. And basically he communicated to Marlene Sokol that, you know, he was pushed to resign, and, you know, it wasn't him, and perpetuating narratives that, you know, he's not taking accountability. I would never say those things, just like he said he would never say those things. But like I said, y'all can go on the website. I literally did a whole video overview talking about it. I made a petition with change.org to hold him accountable. And, you know, all of this stuff is here. All of this stuff is here. So, I mean, people have to be really intentional with, you know, getting this information. But I will tell you that he's not hacked. He wasn't hacked because it was a private secret Facebook group that you had to apply for. You had to apply for that group in order to get in it. Because how Facebook works, you have all of these white supremacist groups, and you have all of this, like, they don't want their information to be disclosed. they have to apply to be in those groups. And that's exactly what happened. And, Chuck thought he was smart by deactivating his page and changing his profile picture, thinking that it was going to work. But when you deactivated your page, that content changed over.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
I own a secret group. I own a secret religious group on Facebook. And so the way Facebook says, you can keep the group private if it's under 5K. Once it hits 5K and one, that group now becomes public. So they know what they're doing. They're never going to let that group reach to 5,000 people, because if they do, they publicly have to open that group up. And I'm telling you, because it's done been many a times that I've deactivated my page to go on sabbaticals, you know what I'm saying, to regroup. And all of my content that I've ever posted on Facebook, it stays right there. It don't never change.
That's
You
right.
just can't click on it or comment. Like you say, you can't click on it. You can't comment on it. When you click on the person page, it just gives you that person's profile picture. So you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, lying ass. That's what he is, a lying ass. Okay. Yeah. That's good investigative work, Bianca. That is good. That is good. That is very, very good. I see somebody picking you up. Yes, it was. I see somebody picking you up nationally.
It was good.
I do.
So give us an analysis.
I see somebody picking you up nationally. I see somebody picking you up.
So Bianca, so give us an analysis. Now Cindy's an analysis as to Cindy. She's seeking higher office now. She wants to be the next clerk of court.
The ballerina? Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel as though the way that she handled this particular situation, I'm going to just put it into context. So you have someone that's racist that's working at the clerk of court, and you have someone that comes forward, and then you immediately say it's not true, and you dismiss the claims without doing an investigation. I could see that happening in the clerk of court just based on her actions with this case. And then I don't understand why she interfered with an OPS investigation. If this was under investigations, why are you having conversations with the principal, and why are you having conversations with the teacher? I understand that your child goes to the school, but your duty and role as a school board member is not to get into that. Mm-hmm. It's not. What you should have been doing is managing this budget, and so that way we aren't here. That's what you should have been doing.
Well, Haiti and I have this thing,
right?
Bianca, where we always say that, Cindy Stuart want to run for clerk of the circuit court. And, Haiti, I literally adopted and stole this slogan from her. Look, Heifer, you can't lead a popsicle sit or a lemonade stand. You sure ain't for the clerk of the circuit court, like you say, where you're the overseer, you're the comptroller over all of this. The money, the budgets, and all. You can't budget $50 million missing dollars from the school board. What make you think we finna let you get over billions? No, I don't think so. Just like you say, if citizens come over there, defendants come over there wanting to file discrimination against a judge or a prosecutor or a public defender, this goes missing. This goes missing. Nah, boo boo kitty. She gets the Michelle Williams Loser Award for this evening.
Bianca, listen, you have take issue, and people take issue with her during an investigation that she prematurely labeled fake, dismissing something that could actually be the truth, right?
Yeah.
Shows her, it gives the appearance that she's not really committed to investigating and finding facts and truth because look, at the end of the day, like you continually say, this is about children, right? And if we certainly cannot have anyone that him or herself with a group that promotes hatred,
right,
towards a group of people. So when it's being investigated, she's prematurely calling it fake, and then at the same time talking with the principal and the person that you're saying, look, this is problematic. This is what I found. It gives the appearance she might be trying to advise the teacher on how to conceal or dodge.
I'm glad that you brought that
whatever up. Legitimate accusation is coming his way, to avoid it, so that to preserve his job and keep him.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because actually, when I had a conversation with Cindy Stewart, she advised me that she had told the teacher to be quiet.
Oh, so now she practicing law?
She told the teacher to be quiet.
Wow.
And so that's
Oh,
why
there you
in the
go.
series, I was like, she had told him to be quiet, and I didn't understand why he slid in my inbox. I don't know Chuck Henderson. I don't understand why he slid in my inbox. I still don't know to this day. He was I know that he is upset he slid in my inbox because the day that he slid in my inbox, it was case closed. It was case closed.
You know what? He was probably attempting to handle you,
That wasn't gonna never happen.
control you. Of course not. Of course not. But that's what he was probably trying to do to kind of hush you up, calm you down, so you don't continue forward, bringing the pain and that truth.
I'm not shocked by
Kimberlyn saying she's not committed
I'm
to the
not
truth
shocked by
telling.
Cindy Stewart's behavior. I'm not shocked whatsoever because she was being asked a very serious question at the Candy Low Tea Time candidates roll call event a couple Saturdays back, and the one of the moderators, Jarvis Alameen, was asking her a very serious questions about the black community. And this lady literally stood up on her tippy toes in her sneakers and started laughing and twirling and was just like, "What do you think? What do you?" And I'm so, so Jarvis had to cut her neck and was just like, "No, what you laughing for? This is a very serious matter. You know what I'm saying? This is a very, very serious matter. And you laughing at the fact that we asking you, how are you going to make sure that the black defendants and brown defendants who come over to the clerk of the circuit court, just like we just said, making complaints against rogue judges, police officers, and complaints about anything that has to do with the judicial system, how you gonna handle that?" And she start twirling around. Nah, not only do you get the Michelle Williams Loser of the Week award, you know what, Heifer Boo Boo Kitty, you get the Tutu award also. That's what your ass get. You get the Tutu
Maybe
award.
she should go apply for Cirque du Soleil instead of the clerk.
A true mercy. Okay, all right. She applying. She won't apply for no black Cirque du Soleil. I can guarantee you that.
I do question the intentions as to, why she was at, that event in the first place. Um, but what I will say is that at the end of the day, I think this is a learning lesson for not just her, but these elected officials when it comes to school board stuff, that I'm not playing about our children, period, by any means necessary. And you might not like it. I might step on your toes. You might feel uncomfortable, but it's about the children since day one. And where Chuck messed up was when he slid in my inbox, and he should have he should have taken Cindy Stewart's advice. I said it in the episode. Anyone could go back and watch the episode. I said it. He should have taken Cindy Stewart's advice by being quiet. But for him sliding in my inbox, he exposed himself. And to clear up some of the stuff that I saw in the comments, like if he chooses to resign, that's his choice. Now the district can continue that investigation, and they do have an option to send it to the Florida Department of Education. They don't necessarily, I don't know legally if they have any type of requirements to do that if he resigned from his position. But that's something to, investigate. I'm not sure, but I want to know how that OPS investigation went. So I will be doing a public records request to see how that went and if there's any receipts on that. And if I see something that I don't like, then I'm going to go right back to the superintendent, as I always do, and hold him accountable for, what's going on. But as soon as, he got all the information, he handled it. The problem is the stuff that's happening in the district, and this is before the superintendent. The culture of Hillsborough County Public Schools is so corrupt. And so you have people that don't want to tell on each other. You have people that don't want to speak out. You have people that don't want to tell the truth, because typically the truth is stepping on people's toes and you messing up with people's pockets, money, and therefore I'm gonna slit you at the throat. Like, that's the culture in the district, and this is why it's not for the kids. It's not moving our kids forward when we do that. So there was a lot of stuff that happened where, like, people called me from Gaither and was like, "Hey, don't mention my name, but yeah, you want to look into that. Like, you want to look into that." But they couldn't say nothing publicly. I mean, some got to change in this district. Like, it's not just the superintendent, it's the culture and the foundation. This happened way before Addison Davis came here. And I'm not giving him a pass because he's not on my good list right now with the foolishness that's happening with these COVID cases that I've been talking about weeks ago. I'll just say this, that this district needs accountability, transparency, and integrity. This is taxpayers' money. You had Cindy Stuart that was sitting as a board member 8 years, was responsible for two deficits that is taking place in the district, and then she wants to go parading around and saying that she would be responsible for the money in the clerk of court. Meanwhile, our kids can't read, and we don't even have PPE to safely open schools. That's a problem.
That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Anyways,
I think where we're at, just for a second, Haiti, where we're at, you know, again, Bianca, I commend you, and I'm so thankful that we have good people out here, like what you're doing, what you started teaching for the culture. That is great. Your investigative work has been, like I say, it's been phenomenal. But you know what? My great grandmama, I used to hear her as a child saying this, passed down to my grandmama, passed down to my mother. That, like we always say, what don't come out in the wash is definitely gonna come out in the rinse. And it's time, so basically what we're seeing, God is allowing, and our ancestors are allowing this type of racism, this type of behavior is now being exposed. It was no coincidence that on that particular day that you seen that post, that you were able to define what was going on, put the receipts together, and expose Chuck Henderson, and and tie in Cindy Stewart to all this, because she don't get a pass. She doesn't get a pass. My question to you, Bianca, is the OP investigations, is that done in Hillsborough or in Tallahassee?
DOP.
No, the OPS investigation.
OPS is done with the district.
With the district, okay.
The OPS investigation is done with the district, and they have the option if they want to submit that information to the Florida Department of Education or not, or what they do with it. But yes, OPS is through the district, and anyone could pull up any receipts on any OPS file, and you can do a public records request, and you can get if it's public record, so you'll be able to see it.
See, my thing is,
okay, so
Hillsborough County School Board is the 8th largest district in the United States. It employs more than 27. It employs more than 27,000 teachers, principals, and aides, and all that good stuff. And I'm just like, how can you be an employer and know what's going on everywhere? You can't. You got to have micromanagers everywhere. Micromanagers need to be everywhere, which means there needs to be some type of manager or supervisor or snitch at the door. Somebody got to be snitching. Somebody need to be telling. And I'm just gonna say this, because we've all said it. I know I've heard it come out of Haiti mouth several times, me and her in conversations. If anyone is sitting by and knows something about not only this investigation that Bianca is doing and has done, but if you know about anything that's happening in the district and you're standing by and you're being quiet, it means that you are condoning the racism and the injustices that are happening to our children. Bianca, my fist is pumped to you, sister. Like I say, I see you being picked up nationally by somebody. I don't know who it's gonna be, but you finna go a lot of places. I see it.
The thing that really got me was, with me trying to get to the truth and getting to the answers, like I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like I was left out there hanging. Like, I put this out here and I'm left out hanging. Ain't nobody talking about it. People are sharing it, but like I'm like, yo. And then the part that got me was when my name was featured in the Tampa Bay Times article. First of all, do y'all understand the demographics of the Tampa Bay Times? It is not for people that look like us. So when my name was featured in the article, like I had to secure my VPN. I had to make sure that my internet securities was tight, because these white supremacist groups, like they don't play no games. There's a whole website called 4chan.com. Go look it up. 4chan is where the white supremacists, they get together, they rally together, and it's all posted anonymously. It's a website that people go on and you could search. Like, they now have the new word for the N word. It's called joggers. I learned that from 4chan, and they created that with, Aubrey, where he was gunned down and killed. And so now they use that term and they say joggers for the N word. Like, these are the code words and stuff that they put on 4chan and they assemble in these groups. Like, We Will Be Ruthless, they found me. They found my post and they was tweeting about it. I don't know this. I don't know
For
people.
the people that need direction, are you saying 4chan, FORCHAN.com?
No, I'm saying the number 4
Okay.
CHAN.com.
Okay. Because I was already going to hit you up about the VPN security. Like, I have some, but I think I need to take mine to matter of fact, 3 years ago is when my cable was being installed. The man actually remembered me from the Trayvon Martin comments that I did in 2012, and he was just like, "You may want to consider doing."
Yeah, you need it. You need it. ExpressVPN. I tell everyone about it. I was a customer before I started promoting the product, and I don't promote nothing that I don't use or I don't support. I fully support ExpressVPN. I do. It's helpful because this internet world, like, people don't understand, it's dangerous out here in these internet streets. You can get hacked. There's stuff that can be compromised if you use the same password. You put yourself at risk. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on this cyber world that a lot of people don't know, but they finding out because of COVID. Like, they are finding out because of COVID. Like, they are. And people's information is getting hacked, and they say, hey, if you want your information released, you have to pay such and such via Bitcoin. Well,
Yeah.
Bitcoin is traceable. So I mean, you paying people via Bitcoin. I just, it's a lot going on. So people have to really be intentional with this social media stuff and what you do and what you say and all that type of stuff, because I'm telling you, it's dangerous. And so when I was posted in that Tampa Bay Times article, like, people was like, "Oh, you were featured." I was like, "No, no." Because these groups, they'll come and try to dox you. Like, y'all know what doxing is?
No, explain it to us, please.
So Chuck Henderson, he got doxed. His phone number, his address, all that information was posted online. They exposed him and they put all his information all on the internet.
Oh, wow.
So he was receiving harassing phone calls and all of that type of stuff. So this is why, he was telling the district, like, I'm a victim because of all this stuff going on. But he was a victim because he's a racist, and he got caught because he said he was a teacher in a private secret Facebook group that he had to apply to get access in.
Wow.
Incredible.
So it's dangerous out here. So that's why I tell parents, y'all need to check your child's cell phone, because the children have VPN. They have different spam pages on Instagram. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff. I know we so off topic because I know y'all want to talk about that particular Gaither situation, but I cannot speak on the fact that our children are in danger online. They are. There's a lot of stuff that's happening on these apps, and there's different stuff that the kids are, into. It's crazy. It is crazy. So I need people to be intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you pretty much killed it.
Yeah.
This is a good episode.
You know what?
This is very, very informative. Very informative.
Good work. Good work.
Thank
Good
you.
work.
So yeah, I will send you the link so you could post it in the change.org petition.
Led
So you can see it.
Reporting go his laptop
Her service is going in and
out but to the fact that we have a school.
Okay, Haiti, you went out. Okay,
I'm
there you
back.
go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, she froze again. So Bianca, I think she was getting ready to tie everything up because she's been going at it all day today. I think this is her third video for today. So
we're gonna
Okay, Haiti, we don't want to ruin the goodness of the video, so we just gonna go ahead and sign off and say, Bianca, thank you so much. Everybody follow Teaching for the Culture. Follow Bianca Goolsby on Facebook. I'm sorry, wait a minute, you may not be able to follow on Facebook. May not be able to do that, but follow Teaching for the Culture if you want to know the tea for what's going on in Tampa Bay, Hillsborough County. Again, teachingfortheculture.com. I'm going to post it on my Facebook page also in a few seconds, Bianca, as soon as we get off. And I know Haiti thanks you, so I say thank you again for joining us for this night's episode.
Thank you. And I appreciate you, and have a good night.
All right, good night.